The pod hatch slammed shut, locking automatically at 0700, signaling the start of another work cycle. Dim lighting flickered alive, revealing the cramped interior that was home. 30 square feet of living space per person, the megacorp residence regulations mandated. Standard pod model GX120, stainless walls unadorned except for the pulsing ad screen. Their residents' indentured lives played out, striving endlessly to earn credits for the pod fees, food pills, digital access fees, clothing allotments, oxygen fees. The costs never ceased accumulating. Nothing in the pod actually belonged to them. All furnishings and stark necessities were on perpetual loan for fees. On his pallet, Trent awoke to the same shrill alert signaling his biomonitor had deducted the night's respiration and sleep data, and his account debited accordingly. He swallowed the prescribed morning productivity capsule, tart and chalky. As the chemical lifted his fatigue, he meditatively repeated the morning affirmation. Debt brings purpose. Work affords life. Obedience is freedom. The words felt empty, yet saying them was compulsory. Donning his work coveralls, Trent prepared for the 31st consecutive 10-hour shift. He would scrub waste vats at Nutriment Production Plant #7, earning barely enough credits to cover his family's next nourishment allotment. It was grueling, noxious work, but he was thankful for the employment. Unemployment resulted in skills reconditioning, they said. Trent had heard the rumors about what that truly meant, hushed whispers of bodies and test tubes. The sole vid screen flickered on, displaying Mita and their daughter Zara. Their tired faces managed strained smiles before the feed cut. Trent swallowed grief. He barely knew them anymore, yet lived for these brief images between endless shifts. For them, he endured the bleak, debt-ruled world Megacorp and GovCorp had engineered. Behind their smiles, Trent knew Mita and Zara also repeated the platitudes of debt and work. It was for the best, for stability. The pod hatch opened. Trent stepped out onto the transit belt, letting it speed him toward the factory and another day's labor. He tried not to think. Thinking bred discontent. He focused only on the work ahead and the tiny faces from the vid screen. The acrid stench of the waste vats clung to Trent's skin and coveralls. Every muscle ached, his soaked clothes plastered to his body after another 10-hour shift, scrubbing endless grime and filth. The transit belt delivered him back to Pod GX120, its hatch grinding open to allow his exhausted entry. The ad screen bombarded him with loud reminders of new fees awaiting payment by the end of cycle. Trent collapsed onto the pallet, too drained even to wipe the sweat from his eyes. He wanted only oblivion, to shut out the world for a few hours. But first, he had to view the family vid message. Mita's face appeared on the screen, more drawn and pallid than before. She attempted levity as she described little Zara's first day at her corporate education center. But Trent could read the truth in Mita's eyes. Zara had reached the age where the state required all youth to register as citizen workers. She would soon undergo evaluations to determine her proper role, then join the endless toil and soulless choreography that defined humanity under megacorp rule. Her scores would decide which caste she was assigned to labor in for the rest of her days. They had hoped, but hope was not a thing permitted here. And so for Zara, there would be the same endless toil and strive, the same soulless choreography of consumer and worker that defined humanity now. No passions could be pursued, no life lived outside the sterile walls of the pod, no world beyond the next shift's mindless tasks. Trent gazed at his daughter's smiling image, frozen on the screen. How he only ached to give her something true and free and beautiful. Suddenly his thoughts were interrupted by an unskippable ad that flashed over Zara's face, jarringly loud and bright. Trent was assaulted by pulsating logos and a shrill robotic voice, loudly listing the latest deals and discounts. He felt something stir in his gut at this moment. Was it anger? Trent did not recognize this feeling. The ad ended abruptly, returning to Zara's smiling innocence. Trent quickly hid the strange emotion, burying it deep within. The vid feed ended. Trent swallowed another bitter productivity pill to blunt his despair. He knew it would all begin again in 4 hours, but if he worked harder, maybe he would be able to pay off the debts. The pod hatch lock clicked definitively. Another sleepless day lay ahead. When survival leaves no room for life, what future is there?